The Broderick-Terry duel of 1859 was not just a personal conflict. It was a violent and tragic culmination of deep political divisions in California and the United States at large. This fatal encounter between U.S. Senator David C. Broderick and California Supreme Court Justice David S. Terry symbolized the tensions between the pro-slavery and anti-slavery factions that were tearing the nation apart on the eve of the Civil War. The 1850s were a time of great unrest in the United States. The question of whether new territories should permit slavery was fiercely debated, and California, which had been admitted to the Union as a free state in 1850, was no exception. Within California, the Democratic Party was deeply divided into two factions: the pro-slavery chivalry Democrats, led by figures like David S. Terry, and the anti-slavery Democrats, represented by David C. Broderick. Broderick, a self-made man from humble origins, rose through the ranks of politics as a staunch opponent of slavery and the influence of wealthy elites. In contrast, Terry, a Southern-born jurist and former Chief Justice of the California Supreme Court, was aligned with the pro-slavery wing and held deep personal and political grudges against Broderick. The animosity between Broderick and Terry had been brewing for years, but it came to a head in 1859 during the California gubernatorial election. Terry publicly criticized Broderick, labeling him a political sellout and an abolitionist. Broderick, known for his fiery temper, retaliated by calling Terry and his allies tools of the slave power. Terry, deeply insulted, saw no other recourse but to challenge Broderick to a duel. In the antebellum South, and among certain circles in California, dueling was still considered an acceptable means of defending one's honor. Despite the dangers, Broderick accepted the challenge, although some of his friends advised against it. On the morning of September 13, 1859, Broderick and Terry met at a secluded dueling ground near Lake Merced, just outside San Francisco. The rules were strict. Both men would stand at a fixed distance, armed with pistols, and fire upon command. Whether by fate or poor preparation, Broderick's pistol misfired on the first shot, giving Terry a significant advantage. When Terry fired, his bullet struck Broderick in the chest. The wound was devastating, and Broderick collapsed. He was taken to a nearby home, where he lingered in agony for 3 days before succumbing to his injuries on September 16th. Broderick's death sent shockwaves throughout California and the nation. Many saw him as a martyr for the anti-slavery cause. His final words, "They have killed me because I was opposed to the extension of slavery and a corrupt administration," were widely reported and used to galvanize the growing Republican Party. Terry, on the other hand, was arrested for murder, but was later acquitted on the grounds that the duel had been fought according to established rules of honor. Nevertheless, his political career was effectively ruined. He eventually left California, only to meet his own violent end decades later. The Broderick-Terry duel was more than just a personal dispute. It was a deadly symptom of the deep sectional tensions that would soon erupt into the Civil War. Broderick's death underscored the high stakes of the political battles over slavery, and his legacy lived on as a symbol of the fight for freedom and justice in the United States. Today, his name is remembered as that of a man who gave his life for his principles in one of the last significant duels in American history.